private chat him and tell him what you're doing so that he will appreciate it. Chat him privately so that he will know what is on.
Good evening, and you are welcome to another exclusive interview powered by News.Band Television. Now, today we are going to be discussing the aftermath of the PDP National Convention. And we have as our guest Chief Oke Arrow. Chief Oke Moore Arrow. He is a former National Vice President, Association of Local Governments in Nigeria. He's also a former local government chairman. He's a former special advisor to the governor on assembly matters and special duties. He is also a member of the National Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, and a legal practitioner. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you, Augusta.
Now, before we jump into the matter for today, can you just tell us, how was the convention?
Well, the convention, by all reckoning, was a very successful one. It was very well attended and very well organized, despite the hiccup they had with the sound system that almost mad, that a lot of people didn't hear what was being said from the podium. But on the whole, it was a very good convention. It was good fanfare. The shenanigans that were on the ground were not seen, but on the face of it, PDP had a very good convention. That's all I can say for that.
All right, and how was the voting?
You say?
How was the voting? How was the voting?
Well, the voting was a mere formality, except for the case of the Deputy National Chairman South. Virtually every other office was unopposed. In some places, the consensus was forced. In some places, the consensus was contrived. In some places, the consensus was genuine. Like I said, that the process that brought up the national chairman was a process of a very transparent and genuine consensus arrangement. And you can see that the people of the North really did their business very well. It was not so in some other geopolitical zones, but as loyal party men and women, many of us have decided to let bygones be bygones. We decided that the interest of our party supersedes our individual and personal ambitions. And since the PDP has decided on a sacred mission to rescue Nigeria, that mission is worth more than my personal ambition to be the national secretary. If my sacrificing that ambition will enable my party to get back into power, and so be it. So you will not hear me complaining about the process and what have you. I'm only going to stand here to discuss the agenda of the PDP going forward.
Okay, before we discuss the agenda of the PDP going forward, the last time we spoke, you mentioned that you were planning to appeal to the committee, talking about your ambition to become the national secretary. How did that go?
Well, I appealed to the screen appeal committee of our party, headed by Senator Ike Madu, and I had it on good authority that the appeal panel upheld my appeal and decided that my appeal had a lot of merit and that there was no basis whatsoever for disqualifying me. But like you know, in party politics, whichever group that finds themselves in authority, their decision is supreme and final. And once it becomes a party decision, if you are a good party man, you have to abide by it. Incidentally, that decision of the screening appeal panel that there was no basis for my disqualification was not countenanced, because if you listen to the chairman of the National Convention Committee in his address to the convention, he did not make any mention of what the Screening Appeal Committee did. The only thing he said was that the Screening Appeal Committee also submitted their report. So ostensibly, until I see a copy of that report, I then will be in a position to know whether what was said during the open screening, that there was no basis for my disqualification, was indeed the decision of the screening committee. But be that as it may, whatever the screening committee decided, the National Convention Planning Committee, as the supreme body organizing the convention, and through the electoral committee, reserves the right to determine who contests and who does not contest. And when they make such a decision, the only option left for you to do is to take the party to court to challenge whether what they did was legal or was in conformity with the provisions of our constitution. Well, Okemwaro will not take PDP to court, even where there was manifest and flagrant breach of our party constitution. I will leave it to the conscience of those who breached those constitution. I'll continue fighting from within to ensure that impunity is removed from the lexicon of my political party. And I don't want to take the unholy accolade of being the person that will bring to the Nigerian public that all is not well with the PDP. I believe that what has happened to me as an individual. If I can bear it, I think with time and with the type of voice I have in the party, I will make sure that such a thing never happens to another person. And the beat goes on.
Okay, so what is your next course of action? Can you share that with us?
Well, my next course of action is to attend the next meeting of the party, which I am an elected member by virtue of being the member of national ex officio representing the Southeast. I will go there and make my case as forcefully as I can make it, and ensure that whatever it is remains an internal affair of the party, and then we will use our internal mechanism to resolve it. But going to court, for me, is not an option, because I am not a decamper, neither am I a defector. I don't leave a political party once I made up my mind to join it, because there are certain basic reasons why I became a member of that party. Except if the party, in their wisdom, decides tomorrow to now use my head to taste a guillotine, then I will run. If they decide to sack me, that is their problem. Then I will now know that they don't want me inside that place. But like one of our governors said, I will fight my wars in PDP. If they win me, they win me. If I win them, I win them. Today, the forces against me have won, and I say bully to them. Tomorrow, I may be in the position to now win them. So it's not going to be Okaro being on the receiving end. Tomorrow, Okaro will be on the giving end. So I am a firm believer in the constitution of PDP. I'm a firm believer in the ideals for which we founded PDP in 1998. And I will continue to do my utmost best to ensure that PDP returns to power in Nigeria. And I keep saying, in anything concerning PDP, there is no retreat and there will be no surrender.
All right, now, tomorrow your party is organizing a state rally in Anambra State. Can you share more details about this event?
Well, like I said, the state rally is coming up tomorrow in Oka. Incidentally, I'm still in Abuja, but the party, the state party is making frantic efforts to arrange for me to get a seat on a flight going to East tomorrow. And if I am able to make it, I'll be at the rally to moderate the campaign, because it's been my duty to articulate the program of my party and present it as eloquently as God has given me the ability to do. So tomorrow's event in Oka is going to be the grand finale and the flag off of our campaign, the summation of our message to the people of Anambra State. One is a manifestation of courage that we cannot succumb to the antics of the hoodlums. The PDP in Anambra State cannot just, because a group of misguided people start to kill people here and there, and because of that, all of us will run inside the house. No. Our rally tomorrow is a message that we are determined to take back our state. We are determined to take over the political space that is there. We are urging our people to come out, because it is when you run away as a coward that these miscreants will now say that they've taken over. The issue is that they want to do everything humanly possible to ensure that terror and fear is instilled into every Anambrarian to run away from participating in that November 6th election. But I think that we cannot, as responsible leaders, allow such a thing to manifest. We've invited our people to join us in that rally at the Ekweme Square tomorrow, and we will do our level best to get our message across. Security, if all these police DIGs and police commissioners and AIGs and the soldiers that the government has set down to Anambra will not be able to provide security, then to attend to all Anambrarians. But I believe that, truth be told, that enough effort, enough force is being showed on ground, and whoever that decides to now become recalcitrant by trying to cause confusion may have a very bad story to tell.
Okay, with the security situation in Anambra State, do you think it's wise to invite the dignitaries that should normally attend such state rally? And also, do you think that they would be willing to come to Anambra State for this rally?
If they don't want to come to Anambra State, it's just because they are running away, because they are cowards. That's a coward type many times before they are dead. The valiant never taste death but once. If they honestly believe in the message of PDP, in the fact that Anambra State matters, then they will be able to defy the antics of hoodlums who are threatening our very existence. Somebody called me and said, "My brother, where are you?" I said, "In Abuja." He said, "Please don't come back to Anambra." And I asked the person, "For how long will I run? If I don't come back today for the rally and I don't come up for the election, will I now abandon the state? Abandon my state because some people decide to make life uncomfortable there? My place is in Anambra, and I must be there to show the people. If perchance anything untoward happens to me, then it becomes my fate. It becomes my destiny. Because even if I go and run into the house, and people die in their houses, people go to sleep and they don't wake up. So the big men or the VIPs that are invited, if they don't come, because they don't want to come. That's just as simple as that.
Now, talking about the elections that is forthcoming on the 6th of November, that's on Saturday, will you say that your party is actually prepared to participate in that election fully?
We've done everything humanly possible to prepare our people. The agents are already assembled. The message has gone out. The party people are mobilized. And I believe that everything that will be used to ensure that the ordinary PDP folks who operate at the polling units are given to them. So as far as preparation is concerned, I believe that the party has done their level best. And I can tell you, I'm not one of those people who believe that some funny things will be done, results can be written and announced. Let the people who want to do that, let them dare. Let them just go and announce that result and let it be that it's not what is written there. It is when you are alive and kicking that you can enjoy a victory. But if Anambra people did not vote for you and they announce you elected, you may not be there to tell the story. You may be telling the story in some other hemisphere, not on this, our planet. So, I mean, nobody has a monopoly of violence. Nobody has the secret of communication with God. If you decide to be nonsense person, any other person can become a rubbish person.
Okay, remember that
is there anybody you cut his body and water comes out and not blood? So
remember that.
That is it.
All right, remember that you can join this conversation simply by raising up your digital hand, and I'll try to accommodate as much questions and comments as possible. Remember that we are talking about the aftermath of the PDP's convention. Now, still on Anambra 2021, like you have said that you are prepared, but recently we heard a news story saying that core members who are supposed to be used as INEC ad hoc staff are refusing to participate in the elections. How is your party as a stakeholder planning to encourage people to actually participate in these elections?
We are encouraging people by doing this, our rally. It is a mark of courage and endorsement by us to come out to do rally. Do you know that these hoodlums are attacking people on the street, searching them and asking you, where is your PVC? But you see, when a young man was telling me about that, I said, and you now allow the fellow to go away. You can't raise alarm for your people to come out and get that fellow there and do boys here on Operation Wait here on that fellow who will harass you and say, where is their PVC? Search your pocket. And then you allow him to go away because he is a Kiriwi Machuku. The youth corpers who are running, who don't want to participate, you don't blame them, do you? I don't have armored personnel carrier for me to go and start carrying the youth corpers or telling them to do this thing. And I don't have Odeshi that I will have given them to protect them from Untoward Act. It is a matter of personal conviction. The government's business is to protect lives and properties. The life of those youth corpers matter. The government must be able to show them that coming to do their civic duty of participating in an electoral process is not a death sentence. So it is not our own, it's not our duty as political parties to really go at the extra mile of convincing youth corpers to come and do election. What we're going to do, and is what we're exactly doing, by organizing a political event that shows them that, come on, if you come out, nobody's going to hurt you. But if we just shell our campaign and run into the house, why would any youth corper go there to go and say he's coming to do ad hoc work? How much are you going to pay him to put his life on the line? So ours as PDP is that we are ready to tell the people that we are putting our best foot forward. Let the other political parties do the same. And in that way, all of us as critical stakeholders must have shown the young men and women who are supposed to do the ad hoc work as INEC staff that we are also ready to step into the arena.
Okay, today we had the Anambra State gubernatorial debate. Let's just talk a bit about that. How did you watch the debate?
I did not.
Oh, it was actually a very remarkable debate between your candidates as valuable, Soludo and Yuba. And
yes.
since that debate, we have received a lot of comments praising the way your candidate actually dealt with the question. But this concern has been on the minds of everybody. He is untested in the field of politics. How then can India Anambra trust him to lead the people as a governor?
Who has anybody been a governor before becoming a governor? Was Peter Obi a governor before? Has Peter ever been a councillor? Was Obiano ever a town council member in his Aguilera before he became governor? So, as far as we know, being tested in political destiny is not the ultimate. What we are saying is that if a young man or woman has exhibited competence and capacity in his choosing career or his choosing profession, then mutatis mutandis, it is expected that if he goes into the other field, say, we call it politics or what have you, that what the excellent job he did in his career or profession will also be replicated. Val Ozigbo, as a young man, went to University of Nigeria, came out with first class, started as a career technocrat, worked in the banks, and then went into the boardroom, excelled and became the president of the foremost transnational corporation in Nigeria. His record speaks for itself. The governor of Anambra State is not supposed to be somebody that is going to be running from pillar to post. The governor of Anambra State is a man who has the competence to manage men and material, who can show evidence of having done so before. Val has done that. When you watch him in the debate, which I did not, you can attest to the fact that he is calm, cool, and collected. He is not somebody who buckles under pressure. He is not somebody who you can face easily with any shenanigans or any type of funny questions. I did not watch that debate, but I can assure you that my understanding and knowledge of Val is that he must have acquitted himself creditably. And if he has done that, the Igbo man has this saying, you do not go to test a footballer in a basketball pitch. You test a footballer in a football pitch. The business of politics is articulation, erudition, and competence. If Val has come out there in the debate with answers that meet the standards which our people expect, we believe that when such questions are thrown up to him as a governor, he will be able to answer the same question with the same degree of confidence and competence that is exhibited in the debate.
Now, one of the things that he mentioned in the debate when he was trying to address a question was the problem of leadership for Southeast leaders. And he said, and I quote, that this is one of the things that have led to the agitation that is currently troubling the Southeast region. Will you say now that he is strong enough to protect and promote the interest of Anambra State if he is made the governor? Did you get my question? Hello, sir.
Please, can you repeat the question? Telephone call.
Hello, can anyone hear me? Hello?
Yeah, Augusta, I can hear you. Can you repeat the question?
All right. I said that in his attempt to address the question, he mentioned the problem of leadership, which he said has led to the agitations of the IPOB. Now, do you think that Val Ozigbo is strong enough as a leader to protect and promote the interest of Anambra State if he is entrusted with the seat at Agoka?
You see, Val is a young, dynamic, and strong young man. I've had the privilege of watching him from very close quarters. His degree of confidence tells me that when he is invested with the paraphernalia of the office of the governor, which is the strongest and the most powerful political office in this country, the office of the governor, in so many respects, is stronger even than that of the president, because the president suffers the checks and balances on the National Assembly. Most governors put their House of Assembly inside their pocket. So I am not in any doubt that the values I have seen over time, despite his very meek appearance, there is an inner core, there is an inner steel that I perceive that tells me that he is going to be a very strong governor. And I
okay,
sir,
please let me just interject
on the wrong side of that, I may not like what they see when he has the full amplitude of power.
So let me just interject here. Now, I'm not just talking about him as a leader. I'm talking of him as a politician. Do you think he'll be able to maneuver politics enough to protect Anambra interests?
If he had maneuvered the people in the boardroom and gets himself elected as the president of Transcorp National Corporation and steered it with the same dexterity that he has done so, there is nothing, there is no rocket science about playing politics in Anambra. When people are in public office, I have been there, and I know that it is not rocket science. A good dose of common sense, ability to look problem in the face and face it, and then a sense of history and legacy. That I am going to leave this office tomorrow. What will I be remembered for? It's all about in leadership. Competence, about education acquired and all that, I think Val has it.
All right, I can see that Mr. Elumba's hand is up. Mr. Elumba.
Yes.
Mr.
My question is still on the aftermath of the PDP
convention.
We now see that Dr. Iyochi Ayu has emerged as PDP chairman.
Yes.
There was a speculation before, about 2 weeks ago, that he agreed to step down if it emerges that a Northerner picks up the presidential candidacy of the People's Democratic Party. Is there any truth, to your knowledge, is there any truth that...
You see, this thing is not speculation. Those things are political reality. If perchance PDP in its wisdom decides that the president of the country will come from the northern part, our constitution does not allow the president and the chairman to come from the same side of the divide. So it's not a question of agreeing or not agreeing. If a president emerges from the north, the national chairman from the north will automatically resign.
And so my follow-up question to that, sir, is, does that mark the death of the belief that PDP should zone their presidential tickets to the south, preferably to the southeast?
The business of a political party is to achieve power. The business of a political party is not sentiment and trying to mollycoddle people or make them feel all right. The business of a political party is to achieve power and the power to do good. Zoning power to the southeast or to the south or to anybody is a matter of political consequences. And in politics, if you don't say thou art, nobody will say, there you are. Yes, on Saturday and Sunday, the biggest political fanfare took place in Nigeria, precisely in Ego Square. The entire political family of PDP was assembled in that beautiful square. Who do you see there telling Nigerians and the party that they want to be president? You saw only the Tambuwal, Ateku, Bukola Saraki, Kwankwaso, and the rest of them. Where are those who wants to be the president? Where is Okaro? Why didn't Okaro print a poster and come to the Eagle Square and said, I want to be president, if not, I want it for my people? Where is the Peter Obis of this world who have been making noise here and there? They want to be president. Will you be president inside your mother's kitchen or inside your wife's bedroom? The only person that actually came there, but he doesn't have the spunk, is only Samuel Wabunwa. Politics, according to my people, when I was the Demi North local government chairman, I have a community called Obosi. And one woman from Obosi came to me and said, nah, politics forever. He means that in politics, you go there to grab it. You don't sit down and they take it to your house. So I am not in the business of trying to paint black, white, and white, black. Our people has not shown enough hunger for this business. If you remember, in 1994, Nigeria played Italy in one of the second group matches in the World Cup. Arrigo Sacchi was the Italian coach. Clemens Westerhoff was the Nigerian coach. We scored the first goal and we were leading. But even at that time, you see the complacence. But the Italians were so eager and so determined to take victory that they put enormous pressure on our boys who have already believed that reaching that stage they have reached in the World Cup, that they have won it. My charge and my appeal to the people of Southern Nigeria, and particularly my brothers from the Southeast, we must demonstrate our determination to be elected the president and come out clear with our agenda of what we're going to do for Nigerians and move across the nation, negotiate, talk. And I can assure you that we have a very good case. But if we sit down in our comfort zone and expect a political party that is hungry to get power to come and bring it to us, what are we going to bring there? How many votes are we going to muster from Southeast that will make the party, apart from being moral, to say you go and take power? Politics is a game of numbers. Our people must come out and say, okay, we know that our vote is not there, but we have our people all over the place. If you give us the ticket, every Igbo man from Maiduguri to Yanagua will support your party. Until that message is put on the table, until that threat is there, that if you don't give this to us, this will happen. Nobody will trust you with power. Power is a very serious and dangerous business. And it's a very coercive weapon. Nobody gives you an instrument that you use to oppress him willingly.
So are we saying,
you must be able to say that you deserve it.
Are we saying, sir, that the aspiration of the Southeast to produce Nigeria's president in 2023 is dead?
How can it be dead? It's 2023 now. 2023 is very far away. And
the preparations, like you've just pointed out now, we have seen northern candidates jostling to properly position themselves for power. So yes, if we're not seeing any Southeasterner now making the serious moves to be the president, what does that portend for the aspiration of the Igbo?
Well, you see, it becomes aspiration. It will just be aspiration and die as aspiration.
So he's dead.
I wouldn't agree with you, because my late Oga Edwin Onwudiwe used to say, 24 hours is a lifetime in politics. The dynamics may change tomorrow. Some determined young Igbo people can decide to say, enough of this nonsense. There are young Igbo men and women who are born post-Biafran war, who don't have the way down. Some of us who were born before the Civil War had. There are some young men in the Southeast that has the courage of their conviction. The Osita Chidokas of this world, who are born after the war, whose mindset is that we can do this. So I know that there are young men out there, and my voice is to ginger them wherever they are to come out and throw their hands into the ring. Let them deny us, let them stop us, but at least not because we have not tried. But if we sit in our comfort zone and we have not made any noise, believe you me, we will have ourselves to blame.
Okay, now, sir, still talking about the convention. Before the convention, we have been hearing rumors of the internal crisis that have been rocking the PDP. Can you say that after the convention, the party is now united?
You see, PDP can be described as a giant and a humongous shock absorber. By the afternoon, by Friday afternoon, I can tell you that if you calibrate the tension, the anxiety that is holding all of us in PDP, you won't believe that we put up the show we put up there. Because it was a clear and present danger that the Court of Appeal sitting in Port Harcourt could just with one stroke of pen say, this your convention is a no-show. But by the special grace of God, by superior argument and logic, by political sagacity and understanding, we were able to sail through that. I was a victim of political shenanigans of impunity because there was no provision in PDP constitution that disqualifies me from contesting. But at the end of the day, I was not allowed to contest. But I understand the way and manner politics is played in this climb. You have to ally yourself with the winning forces. If you are perceived as very strong-willed, get other strong-willed people to be with you so that when they want to push you down, your mates and your fellows will stand with you. I was alone, so nobody will want to stand with Okaro because this Okaro is a troublemaker. Nobody wants a troublemaker to go and be in charge of his secretariat because you can't really talk to me on things I don't believe in. So PDP, in their wisdom, manage their affairs, manage their crisis. And I, as a party man, luckily for PDP, I can go to court and create a lot of trouble, create some serious issues for the party. But incidentally, my belief in the party is more than those, my own belief is more than those who are trying to push me out. They cannot push me out. I will be in that party. I will fight with them in that party. If they win me, they win me. As Wike will say, if I win them, I win them. Abraham Lincoln went through so many elections, didn't win, eventually became president. Okaro may go through several issues in PDP, but eventually I will achieve my ultimate political goal on the platform of PDP, and nobody will stop it when that time comes.
Thank you so much, sir. Remember that you can join this conversation simply by raising up your digital hand. Now try to accommodate as much questions and comments as possible. Mr. Ilumba, I can see that your hand is still up.
I think Mr. Toba Owojaye is raising his physical hand, not his digital hand. So can we allow it? Can you please unmute yourself, Mr. Toba?
Yeah, good evening. This has been a wonderful event. I just want to ask our guest for tonight. We have a 25-year-old young man who has become the National Youth Party
National Youth Leader.
Yes. What do you see? Is this the paradigm shift we're looking for? What do you say concerning Senator McCarthy, who insisted to bring out this young man against the wishes of many of the other stakeholders in Kaduna? What's your opinion on that?
You see, if you are a party in opposition and you want to go into government, you must be able to force a narrative that the people will understand. You will also have the language power to dominate the conversation leading to that narrative. McCarthy, the former governor of Kaduna State, a very good friend of mine for that matter, has rekindled the confidence of people like me that a 25-year-old Nigerian, by the way, if you discuss with that young man, you will start wondering whether he is 25 or 45, because his depth of knowledge, his humility, his knowledge of the mechanics of PDP politics is outstanding. I sat with him when we came for the screening, and I asked him, I said, where did you get the courage to get into this? He said, well, sir, I told my leaders that I can do a good job of work being the PDP National Youth Leader. And they believe in my capacity, and they are pushing my agenda. I saw the other young man who wants to be the youth leader, a young man, maybe about 40, 35, between 35 and 45 or something like that. But the PDP has made their statement to Nigerian youths. If a 25-year-old can be entrusted to be our face, talking to the youth of Nigeria, the other leg of our paradigm shift, which is trying to empower the women in our party by making sure that it is not only the national woman leader that is the place of the woman in our NWC. That is part of what is going to face Iyocha.
Hello? Hello?
Well, what I was trying to say is that Iyocha has a very big task ahead of him to make sure that all the conflicting interests and all the interests that really reared its head before the convention is reconciled, and the party is put in a mode to fight for an election. So I believe that the presence of the young youth leader tells a story bigger than what we are saying.
Okay, just before I call on Lilian Obietina, now talking about this national youth leader, this is one of the first times that we're seeing someone so young at the national level. Don't you think there's a lesson to be learned to our Southeastern brothers to train up the youths in Southeast also to also sponsor their ambitions at the national level? Don't you think so?
It also goes with the same thing I'm trying to say. In politics, you have to say thou art. At Okaro today, I'm above 60 years. But I can tell you that I started this business that I'm doing today in 1978 as a young undergraduate in University of Nigeria. I became the Deputy National Secretary of MPP Youth Wing. By the time I became this Deputy Secretary of NNC, I was still in my 30s. So this business is a game of courage, of conviction, of daring. If you don't dare, you will not succeed. You know, people say, people of Southeast, when people come up, and when you see capacity and competence, they go there. In this election we're about to take on, when Val Ozibo emerged, I pushed for a 35-year-old man to be the deputy governor. One Frank Maduka. I give it my best shot. But incidentally, Val had decided that his trajectory is moving towards having a woman as his deputy. But that argument that I proposed and I moved in favor of Frank Maduka is still there, unchallenged. Because I saw Frank, I knew what Frank did. I saw his operation. I saw the level of his intellect. A young man that you give one political problem, he will give you 5 political solutions. I have people like him, Golden Hilo, John Ezike. So, issue of trying to deliberate form of training them, the young men must come out and say, here we are. If the young youth leader did not come up to McCarthy and present himself, that's not what McCarthy will go and bring him from his mother's cradle and put him there. So this is a daring business. Come out and say, this is what I want. And some of us who actually started young will also promote you.
Okay, let us call on Lillian Obiechina.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Yeah,
Good evening.
Pretty enlightening, and I'm glad I tuned in. I was actually going to ask about the young youth leader, okay,
Yes.
and say that, for one, I am impressed. You know, it's a huge office, and when they say youth leader, you see men of 50s and even above struggling for that.
67-year-old before.
So for a 25-year-old being that bold to come out, I am impressed. And, you know, it tipped me towards PDP, okay? Now, my question is, after he became the youth leader, there were pictures of him and is it Gumi, you know, being flooded all over the place. And then my question now is he affiliated with Boko Haram? You know, is that what we are gonna see? You know, because his pictures are there on the social media, it's all over the place. Holding hands, not just taking, holding hands. So
let me correct an impression now. Listen,
yes,
you see, politics is a game where you have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Don't forget the fact that the young man is from Kaduna. Don't forget the fact that Sheikh Ahmad Gumi is a strong voice in the politics of Kaduna State. A young man who is running for an office, who is making inroad and tries to build consensus and build a political base, he has to go the extra mile. Going to Gumi, apart from the fact that Gumi is making some irresponsible and unguarded statements regarding the issue of banditry, Gumi is an example in courage, because it takes a courageous man to go to the den of these bandits and talk with them. It is for the government to determine whether he is a member or is one of the bandits or just an agent provocateur who is trying to help the government. You see, in this life, we cannot crucify a young, impressionable youth who sees a Gumi going into the den of lion to talk to them and say, stop killing people. These people who you have abducted and kept in your den, leave them. We want them out. So the young man will have something to learn, and he is trying to learn it from. And then I also see the photograph being bandied as a demarketing strategy, that some people really want to put the young man in a very bad light. Oh, this boy, look at him. He is a friend of Boko Haram. By the way, Gumi is not Boko Haram. Gumi is only one of those sympathizing with their people who are being untoward. I, Okaro, is a sympathizer of IPOB. That does not make me a bad man. the ideas that IPOB wants to do. I share their ideals. The only thing I don't share is going to shoot people and kill them. If Nigeria and Nigerians don't find us comfortable to be with, they can allow us to go. So Gumi has every right to say, these are my people who are in the bush. Treat them well so that they will not be kidnapping other people. That view may not agree with me, but that is his own personal view. Our constitution guarantees everybody freedom of association and freedom to express himself. But so long as that freedom does not threaten the corporate existence of our people, which I think some of Gumi's comments threaten, it is the irresponsibility of the government of the day not to call Gumi to question that if you are saying if this thing happens to bandit, Nigeria will burn. If Okaro says if anything happens to IPOB, by now I won't be staying in the hotel where I'm in Abuja. They probably would have arrested me. So we have to look at certain things and take them in this perspective. The young man should not be crucified because he's seen with Gumi. In his area, Gumi is a good man. Gumi is a leader. So he has to go and see him and seek his support. That is politics.
Okay, I can see Chima Christian here. Chima Christian, your hand is up.
Good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
May I please commend my mentor and political father, Ike Abatete, on his presentation, erudite presentation this evening. I watched as he carefully and very expertly articulated his points. I agree with all of them, all of them. I also want to commend him on how he took what I call injustice meted on him by the leadership of the party. I understand the leadership of the party has foreclosed on who they want to make the national secretary of our party. I also understand that the party sees him as a strong candidate going into that election, and that perhaps his involvement in that election would have turned out the way they wouldn't have liked. But I don't agree with the disqualification. I am also aware that a team of governors met with other candidates and persuaded them to drop their ambitions so that the candidate or the party can present what we call unity or consensus list. I don't know what has gone so far before the disqualification, during the disqualification, or after the disqualification. What I want to compliment him for is the manner with which he had taken that untoward results. And in some other places, you would have heard people taking the party to court, people going on media to lambast the party. But look at him, less than 1 week after disqualification, less than 2 days after the election, he is here campaigning seriously for the candidates of the party in this Anambra 2021 election and promoting the interest of the party using all platforms available to him. So Ike Abatete, mine this evening is to compliment you and to tell you that we are learning from you.
Thank you very much, Chima.
All right, thank you so much, Chima Christian. Let us listen to Elder Tango Ugochukwu. Elder Ugochukwu, please go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hear you.
Okay. I have interest on what Chief Ike Abatete said, and where I have an argument or so I'm not against electing the young man as a youth leader. But if people show evidence, the database must be worked on, because tomorrow is another date. If somebody or you now, Chief, as an Igbo man, took money to the bush to give ESN, collecting money, paying ransom, and coming back, will federal government allow you? One question. Another question is, there's double standard in everything. If really somebody, the madam that raised the objection, she made a nice point. You people will work on that is a big intelligent report to know really that young man, his background, his motive, and his ambitions, and who is really working for or who is really sponsoring him. Thank you.
Well, I think I agree with your summation, because in this era of insecurity, it does not bid well for us to really let things be left on in the realms of speculation. The only thing I can tell you is that Sheikh Ahmad Gumi is a loose cannon. He does not spare Okeke, nor does he spare Okoye. Because in issue of Buhari, he has told Buhari, go and apologize to Jonathan, because all the things we said against Jonathan, you are committing them now. My only reason is that we cannot, for failure of government, blame private citizens. It is the duty of the security agencies to really go behind the mask to know who Sheikh Gumi is working for. But Gumi has built his reputation. Any political operative who understands the dynamics of the game and operating from the state where Gumi is must of necessity talk to a Gumi, because a politician, like a lawyer, does not pick and choose his supporters or his clients.
Okay. Okay.
Let us hear from Lilian Obiechina.
I just want to tell Ika Batete, since the young man went to Tambuwal and is it McAfee that took him on, I will be coming to you to mentor me. I'm very interested in politics of my opinion, and so that you can't push me on air. I will find out where you are, and then you mentor me as well, because I want to go out there and do my own best as well. We really can't keep leaving these things for the older ones. The younger ones must come up, and women even for that. So it's an open thing. I will find you, and you mentor me. That is what I want.
My own is very simple. I live in my village in Abatete.
Can walk from my house to your own.
I live in my village in Abatete. I have a house at Enugu, and my wife and some of my children live in New York. Okay? I am very accessible. My telephone number is there. I hold it in my hand. So I will want to help in whatever way in mentoring you. But I will want the mentor. I want you to know that I'm a partisan mentor. I am a PDP man. I am not going to mentor you so that you go to APC or go to APGA. I am going to make sure that at the end of the day, you will be in PDP with us. And my idea of politics is that no matter the annoyance, no matter what they do to you, a politician who is what is named should not leave his political party to another one. Defection is a character flaw. It speaks to who you are to leave your party to join another political party.
And
people do these things. People do these things because of money, but it doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense. So the first lesson you will learn from me is what is called consistency in belief and ideology. I believe in the idea that politics is the democratic process. When we formed PDP in 1998, our sole purpose and objective was to get power from the military. That was why a lot of compromises were forged. we try to sustain the democracy in Nigeria by not being too rigid about so many things. Jonathan was perceived to be very weak, and that was why power slipped out of his hand. But Nigerians, like the Igbo people would say, have married their second husband. They have married the second husband, which is APC. If Nigerians did not see APC in 2015, we cannot be able to appreciate the good work PDP has done over the years. Everybody will still believe that Buhari was a messiah. He did that, he did this and did that in 1983 and all that. Those who knew him told you that this man does not have the competence or the capacity, that the job was being done by Idiamo. If you read Danjuma's book, Danjuma stated clearly why I did not pick this man to succeed Murtala Mohammed was because he is inflexible and so perverse. It doesn't reason. That was the reason Babangida gave why he overthrew him. So many years after that, we still see an impervious, nepotic, and draconian fellow sitting there and looking at other people with disdain. The only business that matters to him is that you are a Fulani man. He can get up in the morning and give 30 appointments, all of them to one ethnic group, and it doesn't disturb him. So long as you are part of the 97 and not part of the 5%. So let Nigerians know that many of you deliberately put yourself into the trouble you are now. I'm sorry you may not be seeing me because there's a power outage where I am. But I think it's come back. So let the Nigerians now get themselves ready to look at the platform called PDP, irrespective of person we put there. PDP has now institutional memory. We have the organizational structure. We have the men and women of goodwill that no matter how big you are as a presidential candidate, that there are so many of us who will be within the confines and the corridors of that Asorok to tell you that you are derailing. The people of APC cannot talk to Buhari because it was like any Christian who was looking for a Messiah and all of a sudden saw Jesus Christ. He will forget everybody and follow him. The APC people formed that contraption called APC just to get power. They needed a Buhari, whether he is a devil or angel, to pilot their affairs. They can't talk to him. They can't see him. They have no access. Only those who are part of the cabal sees him. And because he is in a cocoon, he doesn't know this thing me and you are talking. He doesn't read newspaper. He doesn't watch television. So what the briefing they give to him is what he hears. And they tell him, Mr. President, you are doing very well. Oh, fantastic. This, that, and that. And that is the problem. A big political party like PDP cannot be swallowed by any maverick politician.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I can see that this is going to be our last participant for today. Austin, your hand is up. You'll be our last participant before we round off the show. Remember that we are appealing that you stay behind while we just do a little bit of discussion on the Anambra State gubernatorial elections that took place today in Oka here. Austin, over to you.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Austin.
Yes. First of all, I want to thank Okemwaro, Chief Okemwaro Ika Batete. Why I'm thanking him is first how he took what happened. Actually, what the PDP did to him in the just concluded election was
Austin, don't cry more than they believe. They did it to care. I've taken it in good faith. Don't whip up the sentiment.
Grounds for his disqualification. That's the truth. So what? Yes. Okay, the young man that was made the youth leader of PDP, it's a right move in the right direction. We strongly believe that the more opportunities given to the young people, will means good for the country, because we are innovative, we have good ideas, and this is our time. We are people of the 21st century. Just so there are a lot of things we have in mind. We know that the country needs. So we can fix a whole lot of things because we are in time. What I mean by we're in time is that we know what is obtainable now and what ought to be done now. So, and the next thing I want to comment on, the last one, is the PDP. The PDP needs to do the needful per time. The power that slipped into the hands of the APC is evil in all respects. I'm not just sounding sentimental. I'm saying it the way it is. Even the APC members know that they have no competence. It's just like a congregation of evil people. They know that. So the man at the helm
Austin, we can barely hear you.
Austin, are you speaking from Anuno? That is why we're not hearing you.
Austin, I apologize, but we cannot hear you.
Until we are suffering the effect. So whatever mistake or whatever transpire.
Austin? Okay, I think we lost him there. His network was giving issues. But before I let you go, Chief Arrow, is there any last words or any closing statement?
Well, the closing statement is that my message to the Nigerian politician: politics is not a game of expedience. It's a game of commitment. It's a game of belief. It's a game of dedication and service. It is not a business that you go to with a mindset of making profit. You must have a 9 to 5. What do I call 9 to 5? You must have a viable means of livelihood before you can make a meaningful step in politics. People just get up and without anything they're doing, you see them, they say, he is a politician. No. Okaro was first of all trained as a lawyer. But while that training was going on, I was a young activist. But like I said, whoever is interested in politics must bring a certain degree, a certain level of commitment to it, so that this idea of people running from their party to another party just because of some minor disagreement, political parties should not be seen as merely vehicles for political power. Once you allow that type of mindset to prevail, that is the root cause of all our problems. Because it is only a political party, properly so called, that can be able to hold in check anybody who is a product of their system. But a situation where somebody comes into a political party, uses it to win an election, and then leaves it to run to another place, except where there is clear evidence that the people who are in that party don't want you. But like I keep telling people, I use myself as an example. PDP has committed, they have done a whole lot of things that will make me leave PDP so many years ago. But I cannot leave because this is a party, I was part of those that formed it. As a matter of fact, on the day PDP was formed, 31st of August 1998, I had the privilege of being one of the masters of ceremony with my boss, Senator Neto Okon and Musa Musawa, who were there at the Traditional Conference Center to moderate the birth of the new political party, ably led by Dr. Alex Ekweme. So I cannot leave the party for some young upstarts who, because of electoral accident and opportunity, has become leaders in the party, and they can now decide to put stuffed shit inside my mouth. When they stuff it, I will spit it out and use very good toothpaste or mouthwash to spit it out and continue saying the message of my party.
We thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Mike Okearo. Thank you, Augusta. Thank you very much. Because of time, let's pardon me for not allowing you to introduce me. We have a very, very important topic to discuss, and the other discussants are here. Chief Mike Okearo, you don't mind if I describe you now as an elder statesman?
But
so we have young men. We have young men who will. We have young men who will discuss the Anambra election now. If you're able to join us to give sound advice, we welcome that. If not, you can. We thank you very much for coming. It's been a great pleasure listening to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Elomba.
Right.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Today, it was a great debate between three frontline governorship contestants, Chief Senator Andy Oba, Professor Chukuma Soludo, and Mr. Valentine Ozibo. It was a very, very, very hot, at a point, very much tempered discussion. Chima Christian listened to the debate. He will tell us what he thinks about the debate. If also my other brother has left. Okay, I think let's see if we can buy. Chima, please. Can you, first of all, what is your opinion with the fact that only 3 candidates were invited to have this debate today? What does it mean? Why?
Yes, good evening, and thanks for the opportunity.
Yes, go ahead.
We have 18 political parties on the ballot come November 6th, and that means we also have 18 candidates. But when you have a limited airspace or slot, the debate was scheduled to last for 2 hours. And when you have limited airspace, you can't bring the whole of the 18 candidates on the platform. So you do what is called polling to find out from the people who they would most love to hear from. And then you also sample opinion as to who are the leading candidates. And even from America, where we copy our democracy from, who we pattern after, the presidential system we are practicing now, they also do sampling to know who are the strong candidates or strong aspirants before the primaries to put on national platforms. So what we had today was a national platform. And quite frankly, some of the candidates have not done enough to justify their stay on that platform. So the organizers of the debates, EIE Enough is Enough, Ogene TV, Ogene Radio, Arise TV, and other partners decided to cut the noise and stick with only 3 leading candidates who they feel have made enormous amount of impact to have justified their stay on that platform. So that's simply the reason as I find it.
All right. Now, I'm sure you, first of all, did you watch the debate?
Yes, I watched the debate from the start to the finish.
Okay. What is your impression of each of the 3 candidates who spoke on the podium?
The truth remains that
Well, it's pertinent that I from the outset remind our audience that I am a member, a card-carrying member of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. So while answering your question, am I expected to be partisan or am I expected to be sort of an unbiased analyst? So what am I on your show as a PDP member or as an analyst?
Whichever way you want to take it, just tell us how you feel. Go ahead. I wouldn't mind.
Okay. Personally, now that I've stated that I'm a member of the PDP, I would say that really there are two candidates that justify their remits in Anambra State, and then that's really spoke to the issues. First is Professor Chukwuma Soludo. He spoke of the APGA, he spoke to the issues, and then you have PDP's Valentine Ozibo, who also spoke to the issues. What I do find, I noticed from the campaign, from the debate, is that perhaps Anduba is not on the same intellectual pedestal as the other two. And I also, in my own subjective view, find that he is deficient in intellect to be competing at that level with Valentine Ozibo and with Charles Soludo. And it also speaks to the kind of leadership recruitment protocol you have in his party, that of all the people, eminently qualified aspirants on the platform of the APC, that this is the man they are bringing to govern a 21st century Anambra State. Anambra State is far advanced. Anambra State has gone beyond the capacity we saw Anduba demonstrate today. So my humble opinion is that really the debate was between two people. Anduba was just there to accompany them, sort of. He sufficiently demonstrated to Indian Anambra that he doesn't have the intellectual acuity to govern this state. And moreover, it seems that the times we are in Anambra has gone past the days where you have governors who cannot articulate issues, you have governors who don't understand the issues, you have governors who are not nuanced, where you have governors who simply know how to make phone calls, sit in hotel rooms and write election results. Those days are behind us, but the party seem not to have worried about that to present a candidate like this. So and then what I say about Valentine Ozibo is that he spoke with so much confidence. He also spoke with so much poise that is befitting of the office he aspires to occupy. He also saw that from Soludo, who also justified his remit as a classroom teacher, as a professor, and as an orator. But Soludo came off, he was good with numbers, of course, as you can see, or what you would expect from an economics professor. But he also came off as a bit arrogant. I would have thought that some comments that were made from him were not expected from someone of his standing. It would have been better for him to have stuck to the issues, debate his plans, debate his manifesto. But someone who wants to govern Anambra State, reducing a candidate of a political party to a mere shoe shiner for the president, it speaks to his character as a person. Because in Anambra,
my brother Jim, I'll come back to you. Thank you. Please stay there. I will come back to you on
your opinion
on Soludo, but let me call someone to see if he agrees with you on your opinion with regards to Senator Anduba. Sir Augustine Ike is here. My brother, Sir Augustine Ike Doja, do you agree with Chima's summation with regards to the Anduba being on that debate podium? I think Sir Ike Doja, maybe, I think the microphone is not working. While we wait for him, Hyginus, do you want to respond to, I don't know whether you heard, I saw that when you joined, Chima has already made some remarks about Anduba's performance on that debate. But do you want to, say your mind in regards to how Anduba performed on that?
Well, Elumba, much has been said about it on our platform, and most friends have already called me to to express their supposedly disappointment, and some also excusing because it's not that talking type. Chima has said it all. You know, for every contest there must be a winner, and besides, eloquence is not to be used to judge a person to be a good leader or not, right? Arrogance was highly displayed by Soludo. So for me, I would still excuse Andoba. His performance today does not really show he's a kind of person, because we have watched him severally presenting motion and at the floor of the House of Senate, right? So I think that's for me. I support what the last speaker. I just joined when he was about finalizing, but I got out some messages he was trying to drop about the person.
Let me tell you part of the things he said. He said that the three candidates today on that podium, that the only two persons who demonstrated the mental capacity to govern Anambra State is Soludo and Ozigbo. That Andy Oba didn't really show that he has the intellectual capacity to govern the state, going by his performance today on that debate.
Yes. And I have tried to, I know, because he is not the only one that have that. I know that many people have said so. But the issue now remains that you may not judge somebody just because of debate, right? There are people that are very intelligent, they know what to do, but even to present it before people is sometimes very difficult. I know many professors that cannot even face the crowd and do presentation, but they have the idea. So debate cannot be used to judge somebody. But if you engage the person one-on-one, tell me what you want to do for Anambra, you may even do better. So, and let me stop it here. I cannot, and I don't want anybody to just use what happened this night to judge Andy Oba of his intellectual capacity. I don't think.
Okay, I thank you. I thank you, Hygienist. I can see Lillian shaking her head while you are speaking. Lillian, what do you think?
I totally disagree with what Mr. Hygienist just said. You know, in the first place, a governor is the man of the people. He's a governor of a state. He's not an individual. He's not a governor of an individual. So I can't see each one of us going to him one by one so he can articulate, and talk to us before he does something. No. A professor who cannot stand before people to express himself, please, you should go back to school and learn how to stand in front of crowd and talk. I know that it's difficult, or some people can have stage fright, but at this level of competition, that stage fright should have been, dealt with longest time ago, for one. Before even coming to the stage today, I haven't seen Anduba. I haven't seen his campaigning train. I don't even understand what he's campaigning about. I see cow, tied wrapper, and for crying out loud. We are already having issues about the center, and he keeps, pointing to the center. So our governors in Anambra State, if Anduba becomes the governor, will still be directed, stringed, and wired from the center. And do you understand what I'm trying to say? I haven't seen his manifesto anywhere, or even what his manifesto is all about. The first thing I heard is going to build a mosque in 3 days, I'll be in 6 million pounds or 1 week. Something
I don't know whether did he say he will build a mosque? Let us be.
Yes, it is there. If it's propaganda, like the other statesman that just spoke now, keep it for me. That just spoke. Even what is it called? Politics is even about propaganda. I didn't see where it was refuted anyway. But
okay. I'll come back to you. Thank you very much. I'll come back to you, Lillian. There are some other hands. I will come back to you because we'll still discuss how other people perform. But so Augustine, are you able now to respond to what has been said so far? Especially with regards to, well, any of the contestants, actually. You can unmute yourself. Mr. Augustine Ike, are you there now? If not,
yes, I think I can respond, but I think
my brother, network is not your, it's not your friend. Can we call on? No, we cannot hear you. Let's call on Elder Tango.
Remember, I followed the debate. It's noisy. Are you hearing me? I followed the debate and I listened to the debate. Not who win debate will win the election.
Hello?
Oh no, it's disturbing. So what I see in the debate is that Andy Oba will not be a good governor. I'm not a politician. I belong to no party. But I watch his mood, his tension, and threatening what he used for Saludo. Passing your boundary. That word can be analyzed many ways. Saludo was only showing him something, telling him international, do you go to school? Do you have this? Showing him in handy. He can deny it or leave it. So the way, and we are people of history. What happened in Anambra before? He was kidnapped, State House was born, a lawyer and his wife was killed in the same long process on this incident that they must rule Anambra by force. Anambra does not belong to this family. We have people in Anambra, educated men are in Anambra, intellectual, money men, people who can think good and think of people. They always believe in federal might because they happen to either sleep in the same bed with Obasanjo or live in the same house with Obasanjo. They have been using federal might, disturbing Anambra. They don't care who die or who live. But Anambra people will decide. This is November will determine how stupid or how wise Anambra is. Coming to who can speak good, like me now. I'm a stammerer. I don't speak good, but I read and write, and I understand very easy. So there's different talent in this world. Some people are born orator. They will speak like a recording machine, but it's not expert. Like here in a white man's school, if a child is in the school, they will tell the child in many ways. Some child have brain, eye to understand whatever that child see or is in his or her head. The same thing goes with some people. Some people can speak good. Some experts cannot even speak English. Some German experts cannot even write common German, but they are experts in that field. So we need somebody who will repair Anambra and make Anambra a better place. Like Obiano, no matter what people said at Obiano, history to come, history will remember Obiano because this report he did is something. If we continue to have six governor and the one governor solve one problem, after the turn of six governor, we will solve this problem. All theory, practical, we don't need theory anymore or lecture. Okay. What we need is someone that will come and do something good for us. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you very much. Aston, please. Your turn. What's your impression of the debate?
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me all? Good evening, everybody.
Yes.
Okay, the two people that really do justice to the debate is Vought Chinetozibo, the PDP, and Professor Saludo, these two people. Now, the point is this, Andy Oba is he's not a good candidate. He's not the type Anambra wants for now. As simple as that. Except we want nebulism, after the election, except we want problems. Because this man, we know him. We know his family. We know the problems they've caused for Anambra State. And he's not at no point repented. He's not repented. He's still the same thing. The APC that fronted him, they know why they fronted him. They believe what they want to achieve. This is the person that can actually do it. As simple as that. Out of all the people that were contested under the platform of the APC, he was not the best. He was not the best intellectual-wise, and when you talk of good record. So they did what they did. A sitting senator, Ngige, who is of the APC, told everybody that the primaries was not conducted. So I mean, what do we want? So he is not the person we want. And coming to Val Chinetozibo, if you go to the internet now, out of all the people that are contesting, you will see a lot of people who have a lot of things they're accusing them of, but you can't see anything, negative, derogatory written about him because he has no such record. He has no such record. If you read his manifesto, you will see that this man is very much prepared what he wants to do for Anambra State. So if he becomes the governor, then the restoration of Anambra State, because this state have been bastardized by the leadership of APGA. I'll quite commend my brother who said we are going to remember Willie Obiano for constructing an airport. Thank God. But remember that this man, there was much money available for him, and Anambra is owing now. So what happened to all the money that Peter Big left? I think about 67 billion naira. Wike, not Wike, Amechi left only 10 billion naira from Wike, an oil producing state. There was only 10 billion naira that Wike saw. Then Anambra State, that is not receiving enough money. When I mean enough, I mean, when you compare it, River State is receiving much from oil allocation. Then even the number allocation coming from the federal government, River State receives more from the federal government. So if P2B was able to save 67 billion, and somebody came and destroyed the whole thing, and today Anambra State, there is nothing to write home about. So he is going to be a baggage, a heavy baggage to Soludo if eventually Soludo wins. And this is not what we want. So we have to tell ourselves the truth. We have to tell ourselves the truth. The best candidate we have for this election is Val Chinetozibo. Yes, there are the Madokas and the others, but those guys are, they are just, you understand what I mean? So right, there are two principal candidates. So in summary, Val Chinetozibo is the best thing that is going to happen to Anambra as far as this election is concerned. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Can I have one question? Can I have one question?
Okay.
In reply to what my brother just said now about Obiano leaving keeping money for Anambra, 67 million. Have you been opportune to interact with Obiano about that money that to be kept? Is that money physical or paper money or theory money? Because Obiano.
Okay, let's.
Can you elucidate what you mean by theory money and paper money? Can you elucidate, please? Can you elucidate on that?
Wait, I want to know. No.
My view that please. Let's say Obiano is almost past tense now. So let's.
It's not past tense. No.
Just 1 minute, sir.
He said something based on what I said. Remember.
Let me answer your question. Let me believe I understood what you said. The money is.
I didn't finish.
Paper money is there. Physical money is there. Every money is there. When this guy came to Lagos and platform I attended, he told the whole world that he kept billions of naira, and he mentioned the banks. He said anybody can come to refute it. So this, if your governor or if our governor Willie Obiano is denying, he knows why he's denying. If Africa have destroyed everything, they know why, how they did it. But we don't want somebody that's going to be a baggage. Soludo is a good person. In terms of,
I think let's proceed. Let's proceed. I think Saike Dodge has dropped again. I really want to hear his opinion because he's in Anambra State. I'm sure he has interacted with almost all the candidates. In fact, I'm sure he will have interacted with the candidates and watched the interview. So I will have loved to see what he will say. But be that as it may, Chima and Hygienists are still here. So let's listen to Chima again. Chima, are you still here?
Chima.
Yes. You are saying, yeah, you were saying something about Soludo and his arrogance, the way he treated them. I always ask this question. Will arrogance impact of governance? That someone is arrogant, for instance, will that make him an ineffective governor? that someone is not inaccessible, will that make him an ineffective governor?
Well, I don't know, but from my own perspective and experience also,
Yes, and in answering to your question, I want to elucidate.
Okay.
Is that my own Chima?
Hygienist, let's listen to Chima, and then we come to hygiene.
Yeah. I've already muted. Yeah.
Okay. Chima, go ahead.
Okay, my answer to your question is yes, and my reasons are like this. The first is that your previous speaker, respected Okemwaro Ike Abatete, I told you that in some instances, executive governors of the state wield enormous influence, and in some cases, more influence than the federal government, in this case, the president. Because he mentioned to you how the president is sometimes bound by the checks and balances of the Senate and the Federal House of Representatives. In what you see in states are fiefdoms, where the state houses of assembly are acquired tools, sort of conquered territories that they are almost in the pockets of state governors. It's now important that when you are going to give someone power and there is no strong institutions to checkmate that person, there is no strong institution, there is no strong media, there is no strong civil society, there is no strong institutions in terms of traditional leadership, who you know now that once an Igwe seems to disagree with the governor revokes his certificate of being Igwe. So when you now have a system whereby there is nobody to checkmate the governor, then you need to have a governor that listens. When you have a governor that at the stage of being a candidate does not listen to anybody, does not have the humility to listen to priests, to traditional rulers, to opinion leaders, not to anybody, and then you give him that all-encompassing power, there is nobody to checkmate him. It's a big, big problem when you have a governor who does not listen. Had it been we have institutions, for instance, that we have a strong and agile media, that we have a strong and agile civil society organization, that we have an active citizenry who ask questions, ask and at when due, and who demand for answers and good governance. Had it been you have a robust and effective state house of assembly who are willing to do their oversight functions, then you can hand over power to someone who is arrogant and who doesn't listen, because you know that there are institutions to control him. For instance, despite all that Trump did, there were institutions in America to resist him. Imagine if there weren't institutions in America that were as powerful as they were. Imagine what would have happened to Trump's America. And then when we come down to Anambra State, the office of a governor is almost like that office of a god, that all the essays worship him, all the commissioners fall in almost worship. No priest will want to tell you the truth. The traditional rulers are all afraid, because if they speak the truth, the governor could cite anything to revoke their certificate. So it is important that you have someone who has character. I did say in an article, a mini article I published today, that Nigeria has not gotten to the stage where we have strong institutions. And what we find is that institutions tend to take on the character and the attributes of their leaders. My example I cited was that, for instance, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua's Aso Rock is remarkably different from President Buhari's Aso Rock. And it's quite different from, say, Jonathan's Aso Rock. Another example you will see is that Saraki's 8th Senate is different from these 9 Senates. Although they are serving under the same president, and they are serving roughly under the same circumstances, because in both instances, the same party had overwhelming majority of the Senates. But you find that these 2 Senates are taking 2 different shapes and forms. Why is that? And they are serving under the same constitution. Why is that? Because the leadership, the organization has taken the toga and the character of their leader. So if Anambra state government will take on the character of its leader, do we want an arrogant Anambra government who nobody can talk to? So that is what I'm saying. In choosing a governor, it's important that we find leaders who have emotional maturity, who are bold, who are firm, but who are humble as well, who are approachable, who are reachable. Despite all your economic theories, there is where you get to a main market on nature. A main market man will sit you down and school you on the needs of main market people. Now, if you dismiss everyone's idea, or ideas because they didn't go to Harvard, because they didn't have professors. They're not professors. When you dismiss ideas, for instance, if you want to govern a state where you know what our poverty rate is, there are people who are shoemakers, and that's how they earn their living. When you dismiss people's ideas because you call them shoe shiners, who then are you going to lead? So I am of the opinion that anybody who aspires to lead Anambra State, given the circumstances, should have the emotional maturity to listen to everybody, compare ideas, and now implement the best.
Thank you very much. Hygienist, your turn now.
Hello, but I think Chima has said it all. That is my definition of being arrogant, you know, because I gave you instance of Okadibo when Okadibo was the Senate president. What happened? Upon all his intellectual, he was not able to lead the Senate. There were a lot of chaos in the Senate. Besides that, there are attributes of a leader. One is humility, you know, somebody who is accessible and can listen. Even if he's bereft of ideas, he can borrow. You know, nobody knows it all. So that's what I see that played out today. Beside that, Chima has said it all. We don't need people with such character to come and govern Anambra again. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Because we may not come back to you. And what do you watch the debate? So give us your overall summation of the debate, because we will soon be rounding up now.
Well, articulation of ideas. Andy Oba did not. For me, Andy Oba performed badly, but I still maintain that we cannot judge him by what happened tonight. So Ozigbo, for me, is even better than Soludo. And if you go by debate today, I will take Ozigbo. Assuming we are going to judge from the debate, Ozigbo did better than the three candidates.
But for you, we will not judge by the debate. You still believe that Andy Oba will make the better governor. Hello? Hi, Janus.
Andy will make a very good governor.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Hello.
All right. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Sir Augustine, is your internet okay now?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Sir Augustine.
Oh my God, I have to keep relocating positions. Because I was passionate to talk.
Okay.
Finally,
Hello?
I'm relieved to hear that your internet is restored.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, go ahead.
You see, politics is an art. Okay. Is an act of governing a city. That act, that word act,
No. Okay. Unfortunately, we lost you again. Okay, we will soon be calling it a day. Any other?
Is gotten from the Greek word. Is from the church. Okay? Trial version. You did it.
Poor network.
Yeah.
Very poor.
Very poor network. Okay, we'll soon be rounding up then. We couldn't hear from we can take any final.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead.
I said if all of us have agreed that Obi are not underperformed, if all of us agreed that Obi are not underperformed, all of us must also agree that Obiano is an intellectual. So intellectualism does not form the basis of performance. Okay, that one is an intellectual, does not form the basis of performance. Okay, if intellectualism is the basis of performance, we'll not be looking elsewhere except in Obiano because he has it. So what we are going to do is they had a debate. It's an on-the-spot debate. Let's not put any other category, but based on what they did there. So far I'm concerned, the people that we are debating was Val Ozigbo and Andiuba. Soludo wasn't debating. Soludo was presenting himself. He was projecting his ego. He was not even listening to himself. Because, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
If Soludo was listening to himself, he should be crying at home. When he gets home, he should be crying that he was given a platform and he made a mess of himself. That is, he was on a national television and he is supposed to show us that he has a sense of respect for people. So is Soludo trying to tell us even if Andy was polishing shoe for Obasanjo, that's what we call the dignity of human labor. Is it a bad work to punish shoe for Obasanjo? Is it that derogatory a job that is what? So Soludo is noting polishing shoe for Obasanjo as a disadvantage. I was expecting Soludo to tell me which conference did he attend and meet Obasanjo for the first time. Then Obasanjo was able to appoint him the special advisor on economic matters. On which conference? On what basis? How did Obasanjo get to know him for the first time? So let's keep sentiment aside. So far I'm concerned, there is something Andy Uba said that I will go with. Hello, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Soludo is a manager, not a leader. You had him, and I agree with that point. Andy may not be a man of so many words because sometimes you may not really offer what you don't have. But if politics is an art, let me tell you, Andy understands politics as an art more than two of them. Because he is more schooled in political behavior. Certificate. Oh, now I'm a politics mechanic. Andy is also one politics mechanic, three of them. He understands it. He understands it. He knows what to do. Not minding that if it is going by the debate today, anybody that after listening to these three people do not give this debate to Val Ozigbo, he's being unfair. Okay? But if we are going by anticipation before the debate, after this debate, anybody that did not rate Andy Uba high, he is doing it on sentiment. He's not being sincere. Andy over-impressed me. I'm impressed because I was not expecting anything from him. And then he gave me more than I didn't even know he'd be able to talk there. He gave me more than what I expected. So I'm a teacher. Elomba, I'm a teacher. You understand what I mean? That's what we call principle of reinforcement and punishment. Okay? I am so much impressed. Whatever Val did today, I'm not impressed. Do you know why? Hello?
Go ahead.
Val is a professional marketer. Val is schooled in the act of talking. He is schooled in the art of wooing. So I was expecting that from Val. I was expecting him to take the day. If you call debate 10 times with Val Ozigbo, he will still take the day because he knows what to do. He knows how to say it. And he knows the caution. He knows what he will say. It will be offensive. Soludo do not know what he will say. It will be offensive to people. So in a simple word, he is insensitive. He is insensitive. If you keep three of them as food, Soludo is not consumable. Yes, he's an intellectual, but he's not consumable. That is my position on him. Yeah, he is a manager. He is a man enough. But he should not be giving human beings to manage. Look at how he was talking down on Andy Uba. He was talking down. He wanted to belittle him. And that is how he's talking. He sees all of us as nothing. I want respect for people. He should not be given a public office. That is my position on him. So what I'm saying in essence is that I do not want to go and start talking outside. If you want us to now doing the lifestyle of Andy Uba, the lifestyle of the past history or whatsoever, I do not want to go into that. Do you know why? Hello?
Go ahead.
I cannot go into somebody's past life because that's what we call SOR in human being, stimulus organism response. Okay? And then we have stimulus response. He's not a chemical, he's not an inanimate matter. So he can change. It could be that Andy has changed over time. Nobody can tell. It could be that he has changed. You always give people second chance. But what I'm saying in essence is that so far I'm concerned, so far today's debate is concerned, I have seen how gentle and soft-spoken Andy is. And this, what happened today in the debate, shows why people are leaving Africa. How Soludo was talking down on Andy. This is how he has been talking down on all these people in Africa. That is why they are fleeing. They are fleeing for their safety. They are not safe. If your colleague are not safe with you, how can the citizens be safe with you? We are not safe in the hands of Soludo. We should say the truth.
Thank you. Thank you.
We should say the truth. We are not safe in his hands. So let's deal with Val Ozubo and Yuba. I don't know why Senator Ifan Yuba is not there. He ought to be there. They should give him the floor. Let's listen to him also. But what I want to say in summary is, whenever we are discussing politics, let's start talking about intellectualism. It's not an academic something. It is an art. You learn it in the process. And it's either you've learned it or you've not learned it.
Okay, I thank you. Okay, Chima, you want a response? You want to respond to what Sir Augustine has said?
Yes, I agree in part with my brother, Sir Ike Doji. I also want to now offer my views on what I think about Valentine Ozibo's performance at the debates. Well, you see, it's good for someone to have a strategy, and it's good for someone to retain his cool to execute his strategy. If you looked at what happened today, I don't think that Senator Anduba came there to exchange words or throw banters or fistcuffs with Professor Soludo. But Soludo had a clear strategy of provocating people, cutting in between Anduba's talks, and including cutting in between Ozibo's talks to trip him off, to try to trip him off his line, to try to get them to say what they shouldn't be saying, to try to cut into their time. But you saw that the man maintained his strategy, even while Soludo was dealing with numbers and statistics. And before that, he prefaced that he is the one talking about numbers and statistics, that he doesn't think that Val has numbers and statistics. Val only responded by saying, look, man, I have a first class in accounting, but I'm not here to deal with numbers because I know that the numbers we are talking about, the man in main market does not understand them. So I'm going to talk about what the man in the coca understands. So he's talked to his issue, he's talked to his game plan. And that's why you see, you need to have leaders who have clear strategies, who would not be distracted in implementing their strategies. If, for instance, Andy becomes governor and his political opponents decide to throw baits at him, assuming that he has a plan, and he will end up leaving and abandoning his manifesto to start responding and reacting to baits thrown at him by his political opponents. That's for me. And then the last thing I want to say about VCO is this, that you see a man who has clear understanding of issues, clear articulation of the issues, and has sufficient humility and character to execute on those issues. He's stuck to his game plan, he's stuck to his points, and he communicated with all humility his plans and with all forthrightness. And there was something that was raised at the debate, and I'm sufficiently glad that he trashed it, because the two other candidates were pointing accusing fingers at the PDP. Professor Soludo said that PDP was known with brigandage, with burning down Anambra State, and Yuba in part responded and said something like that. But what he did mention was that the fact that the two of them were at some point in their lives candidates of the same PDP in the same election. In 2010, I believe, Soludo was a candidate of this PDP. And by then, he didn't know that PDP was burning down government houses. And then Anduba was at some point, I believe in 2007, a candidate of the PDP. So Valentine Ozibo was able to draw a clear straight line between the old PDP, which Soludo and APC candidate Anduba represented, and the new PDP by telling them that we have defeated these people in court, that this is a new PDP, this is a fresh new candidate. So my word is that Anduba has his faults. Of course, despite the fact that they are talking about his not being eloquent, if he has governance credentials, he should have manifestly demonstrated that in his 8 years as a senator. He did not. Now we want to give another an opportunity. So Valentine Ozibo sufficiently demonstrated his credibility, and he has an even more credible platform in the PDP, the new PDP that has become the face and the poster boy of a new PDP in Anambra State. So he will get the opportunity, I'm praying, come November 6th, so that Anambra will chawapu. And not chawapu anytime, but chawapu Ozibo.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That to be a concluding topic. Otumba, please. Thank you for being in our midst.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me, Lumba. My take on all this is, as usual, if you look at the amount of grammar Nigerians speak every day, every time, on all issues, is more than the whole world. Because, and I'm proud of that, because we are Nigerians, we are highly educated people, better than many Americans in America and elsewhere. But the truth of the matter is, we are still not getting issue of governance right. We are still showing the whole world that as much education as we have, we are not using it to better our life. An average person would think that to be a physicist or an engineer or whatever, you need to know the art of engineering. An average politician in Nigeria is a corrupt person. The immediate qualification he needs after professorship or anything is to have gone to the garage in Owerri or some other town to learn how to be a garage person. You learn politics from the garage. We are not showing the world that we are capable of governing ourselves. Because, like I said, if you look at the credentials of many of these people, you will have thought that they will do better. There is a country in Malaysia. There's a guy who, I think, one of the presidents, is he a shoemaker or whatever he is? I mean, he changed the face of that country in Malaysia, one of the best countries, well governed and so on. So my submission is this: all this grammar we have been blowing, and now these people you talk, I mean, Soludo this, Soludo that. I want to challenge Soludo. What has he done for Nigeria when he was central bank governor? Yes, Uba can be this, and Uba must have taken so much money from the money he has to go and put away for Obasanjo. That's how he made his money. How many of these people made their money through the right channel? No. Now let's come to the election. As far as I'm concerned, the best candidate is a candidate that can identify him or herself with the people. Most of the people who want to be right at the top and be looking at how people suffer below are just not qualified to be governor or anything to the people. And finally, I'm of the opinion that even though I don't want to know much about the politics of Nigeria anymore, I see Andrew Uba, as much as he may not be a graduate of anything, but it looks like he's more closer to the people than the other people. So if you don't use qualification to rule or to govern your people, because we have seen it in 1933, during the time of Hitler. Most of the professors that were elected, were 98 of them, elected to the Bundestag. They messed up the whole place. So if Andy Uba is closer to the people, so the people should vote for him. And hopefully, at the end of the day, is the best figure that are going to win the election anyway. All of them are going to make up for story. That's the hallmark. Thank you very much, Dan, for having me again.
Thank you very much, Atumba, for being with us. Finally, we take Austin. You can unmute yourself, please.
Hello. Okay. Hello.
Go ahead.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah. I said the people of Anambra are definite in what they want. And all the contestants are Anambrarians, and we know them. Hello? Hello?
Go ahead.
Okay. So the contestants, the three persons we are looking at now who participated in the debate, Andy Obava, Chineto Zibo, and Soludo. Someone mentioned that probably Andy Obava have repented, but we all know that he have not repented. There is nothing, no iota, nothing is indicating that he have repented. You see, I know that some of the things that on the internet about him might be propaganda, but we know him. There's something about him and about his family. You see, there's something about him and about his family. So we know him. And the truth of the matter, if we really want a good leader, Val Chinetozigbo is the man. You know what? Transcorp, he took Transcorp and transformed it. And to be the president of Transcorp is not a small thing. He managed over 300 staffs under him. You know, he managed over 300 staffs under him. So it's not about, someone said maybe he have not learned politics and all. He knows politics very well, because you can't succeed in such a position, you know, managing an institution like Transcorp without knowing what politics is all about.
Right, thank you, Austin. Our time is, thank you very much, sir. Our time is up. We've been here for more than 2 hours now. It's been a very, very, very engaging experience. Thank you, Austin, Augusto Mike, Chima, Elder Tango, Hygienus, and Lillian. Thank you all very much for being with us tonight.